Welcome to three season of Pod NBA Edition. I think this is our second episode, right?
Episode 2.
Episode two.
We
All
back.
right, so in season tournament, we've had discussions about this before, and I think on our pod we were pretty excited about the tournament. I think we all agreed that the introduction of any sort of like competitiveness in the regular season is a good thing. And you know what, guys? I think it worked. I think we
hmm
were right. And I really enjoyed the in-season tournament, man. Like whenever group play came, I think there was a level of excitement that kind of you saw an uptick of excitement where maybe not group play, but like when the quarterfinals came,
Yeah.
and the group play game, like when there were ramifications, like point differential,
Yep. Yep.
right? Like the Celtics had to win by 23 to make it, right? And then you were rooting for the Nets to win by less than 8 or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that shit was exciting. And I think
Yep. And the Warriors
I
got their thing.
really the Warriors had to win by 12 and then the Kings ended up beating them. Like shit like that is really exciting, man. And then the culmination of like breakout, like you can have breakout stars, you know, like Halliburton. Halliburton, I felt like
He was
a
the
lot of people
breakout star
didn't.
for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't really talking. People weren't talking about him. Don't get me wrong. Like he's been playing
Casual
really
players
well
didn't
this
know who he
season.
was though.
But casual players didn't know who he was,
hmm
and this is kind of like a platform, so to speak, where these guys that are truly rising stars in the game are showcased. I really like the overall product, and maybe there should be some tweaks.
For sure.
That's up for discussion, but I do think overall, Adam Silver, that motherfucker don't miss, man. Play-in
Yeah.
tournament, now this, like that's some shit.
Yeah. It's funny to always see people like so skeptical because I'm like I feel that people just don't like change,
Yeah.
and the NBA being so stale, it or it can be very stale at points, and everything that Adam Silver has like touched upon have been the things that have been stale. Like the All Star game was obviously like, oh, no one really cares because no one was really trying,
Yep.
um, trying to bring some competitiveness within the NBA season because, um, you know, real like casual watchers weren't watching until post All Star break. Realistically,
Mm.
that's when people would figure out what teams really look like while everyone's trying to like mesh right now. There's also injuries and stuff like that in a typical like NBA season. So post All Star break is kind of when you get the real vision of what teams are supposed to look like and how competitive they're going to be. So yeah, I think this was great, and I've been a fan since the beginning, man. Like
Mhm.
just being into the Euro League stuff with soccer and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Understanding that format and basically it just being the norm, not really like the NBA is obviously hyping it up to be something new, and that's why like they're putting extra effort to showcase the in-season tournament. But I think like once it gets to a point where it's just like it exists, people know that it's just like like an event that occurs throughout the NBA season. Same way that
Yep.
like the NBA's like everyone's playing for the NBA championship, but there's like a small little dose of like in season tournament and that trophy that you could potentially get as well.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, he not gonna miss, man. He's doing good.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I mean, I was always with it from the beginning too. Like, just yeah, like I always say, just bringing that competitive basketball early in the season. After the first, opening week of NBA, I feel like a lot of the casuals just stop watching after they know what to expect from certain teams and stuff like that. So, just bringing that competitiveness. And the Tuesday Friday schedule was kind of weird, but I think
Yeah.
again with the way the course look and stuff, when the casuals turn it on, they would just be like, "Oh, why the course look different?" But that's
Mhm.
kind of was a unique way of implementing. Like, all right, this is an indication that it's an important game, relevant to like the and stuff like that. So, yeah, like they got the tweaks that they're gonna make. Seasons coming up, but I think overall, man, it's just the hype and excitement definitely met like our expectations.
Yeah, for sure. I will say this though. One thing I don't want them to do is the Vegas thing.
Mm.
Um, I get it. They're doing this to see if, or I guess get a feel of what a
Vegas
team
in
in
general.
Vegas would look
Yeah.
like. I get that. I get what the NBA's angle for this is, but man, it just doesn't. It don't feel right if your team is not playing in front of your home crowd, right? What's the point of getting home court advantage or like the 1 or 2 seed in the tournament if you're going to play at a neutral site?
Yeah, I don't know. I
You know
think
what I mean?
the finals would be interesting of it. Like I don't know where that would be taken because it is just like a one game thing.
Yeah,
It could be based off record or something like that. Um, but I think overall, like I think it was what in the semifinals. It was
yeah.
Vegas or quarter. It was semi, right?
It was semi and finals.
Semi
It was
and
Yeah,
both
yeah.
in
From
Vegas.
semi on, like I don't think the semifinals should be in Vegas.
Yeah.
I think just the finals would be dope. Or like
Even the finals,
they could
like
figure something out with the finals because like I said, how do you dictate
like
home court in my opinion?
I guess it's one or the other because like the the way they planned it, and this obviously can be tweaked, where it was such short notice that a lot of people can't travel
Yeah,
because the
yeah, for
crowds are
sure.
kind of weak, yo.
No, they were.
The crowds were hella weak.
Definitely.
But I think that that's an aspect where it could be improved upon because I would be hella hyped to go to in-season tournament game,
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said,
like a final or a
if as
semifinal.
long as it's like able to be fair. But I also think
Yeah.
that the lack of knowledge made it so
Mhm.
that like this being the first year isn't that surprising. I think
Yeah, exactly.
the next year or the years coming up, people will understand that like, the Vegas or like this would be happening around this time and like Vegas would
Yeah,
be the time to go or like the place to go and all that kind of stuff.
not for sure.
That's why I think like for the finals, a neutral place is cool because it is just a one game elimination. Semifinals, I can see
Yeah,
it not being that because, yeah, the home crowds made it like what it was in my opinion. From
the shit made it
Yeah.
hype.
yeah, from the
Yeah,
end of group play into the quarterfinals, it felt like that the crowd specific was just it was amazing. It was what
yeah,
like
for
made a
sure.
lot of the moments like the moments basically, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean I agree with that for the most
it,
part.
it made it feel like an actual playoff game.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But no, like it's just a minor like complaint, I guess, nitpicking.
Mhm.
But obviously it's the first year. Shit's gonna
Yeah.
happen. We get a random scheduled Celtics game on a Friday that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yep.
Um, and then or today, like there's no NBA games today. That kind of sucks. but but no, but overall, the tournament, I think it was a huge success
Yeah.
and like huge. I actually mean huge because
For sure.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
It was
December
good.
is usually a lull.
Yeah.
December is
Mhm.
usually a huge lull.
There'll be stuff that like they approve upon. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about like point differential and all that kind of stuff and some takes on it. Like I know I would say more like casual people or like real homers didn't like it if their team didn't make it through or something like that, or they were basically on the bad side of the group or of the point differential thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
That's how it works in soccer, right?
yeah, it's still point differential.
Yeah.
What the heck? I don't know what she's doing. Oh, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Why are you just walking in? Yes. Yeah. What the heck?
You should have texted mom.
I guess.
Sorry.
I have it on tape.
You do have it on tape. Um,
That
yeah.
was too funny.
What the hell?
Bro, she just walked in.
Right?
There's like no, the window's not even open.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, okay. So random, bro.
Oh shit, that was too funny.
I don't even know where we were on.
I don't remember. We were talking. Okay. We're talking like that's how they do it in EuroLeague, right? The soccer.
Oh
Like,
yeah. They do point differential, but it makes way
Yeah.
more sense to do point differential in soccer because goals are so
It's
rare.
harder to
Yeah,
score.
it's,
Yeah.
it's one or two, and then even at that point, I forget what the tiebreaker after that would even be. But
Mm.
regardless, I think NBA tiebreaker or like point play is like a little bit odd. I think it can still work
Mm.
because I think if people were to understand it in the following years, they'll be playing differently. Once they know
Yeah.
like group play is a thing and point differential is key, people won't
Yeah.
just like let the foot off the pedal, you know, and they won't let teams just run up the score because all that shit matters.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to like you even if you're out, right? Like I think we talked about this at one point where it was like if you're already out, your goal is to like ruin the day for the other team.
Yeah.
Like the Kings did. The Kings were already out. But they were like, "Fuck the Warriors. We're not gonna let you make it." And then they play hard. But no, I love the in season tournament, and man, I'm looking forward to next year. I'm out. Hold up, not looking forward to next year yet. The playoffs still around the corner. But when the off season comes, that's something to look forward to.
I agree. And I mean, shout out to the first winners, the Lakers, Brown. It was funny
Man.
because everyone calling it like fraudulent now that because Brown won it. I know.
Honestly, yo, all right,
I know
look,
damn well no one would. Everyone would be hype if Hallie won it and shit.
Listen, man, I feel like whoever won the first inaugural one was set up for slander.
For sure. But
Like
I
if
think
the
because it's
Celtics had
Bron-
won,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's because it's Braun that everyone's
Nah,
hating on it extra.
Nah, you can find that shit for anybody, man.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
if the Celtics won, they would have been like, "Oh, do it in June."
No, I agree.
You
I agree.
know
If like
what
it
I'm
was actual
saying?
like contenders, like I don't think
Yeah.
anyone has the Pacers as contenders, so everyone would
Yeah, no, for sure,
love the
for
idea
sure.
of them winning it because it's kind
Yeah.
of just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, having
Nah,
it-
man, no, but people were fucking slandering the Pacers too when they beat the Celtics because they were like the Pat Bev meme, like they were saying
Yeah.
that shit about that. It's just one of those things. But okay, look, I'm cool with people celebrating, but I know the Lakers are the ones that won, so they're not gonna do it. But like, I really hope nobody hangs the banner for this.
Oh, I
that would
doubt that, bro.
that would
be
actually be
crazy.
really bad.
I think
That's the one thing.
Just the trophy is fine. Like,
Yeah.
having that trophy,
Have it
is
on
whatever.
display.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, but hanging the banner in the rafters, that would be kind of
That's different. Unless like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it gets to a
Nah.
point where it like reaches a prestige of that case. But I think they would try to find an alternative because I think they know that
You
it's
can hang
not-
it on your practice court.
Yeah, like it's not equivalent to a chip, like an actual chip.
Yeah, exactly.
It's its own thing for now.
It's still cool though. Like
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. But that's the one thing. All right, I guess we can move on. Buy sells. All right,
This is the the main topic.
this is the main topic.
Let's get it.
I guess the idea is, Kyle, you can give the idea since it's your idea.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
the main idea behind it?
I mean, I would just say at the core, just buying or like, are we still maintaining stock in a certain team, or are we selling
Yeah.
stock and thinking that they may fall off, or
Mm.
our perception of the team has changed? Whether
Basically,
we
we're
yeah,
understanding.
if
right?
we were high on them, and they're no longer there, are we selling stocks on them personally, or
Yeah.
they're gonna drop in the standings in what we think? I would say
Gotcha.
obviously for the top teams, buying or selling into their stock is basically just if they keep up this pace, or if they you think that
If
they
they're
may drop off a little bit.
if they're legit, basically.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams that are victims of an easy first half or something like
The
that. and then-
Utah Jazz.
yeah, so yeah, and some people might have a little bit of like they think this team is a contender and they'll touch upon that, but
Mhm.
other than that, that's pretty much the base of it. A lot of the bottom teams we're probably just going to skim through because we know that there's not
There's
much
nothing
to
to
buy
talk
there.
about.
Yeah, or not much to talk there. So yeah,
All right.
we can get it going.
So we'll start with the West. All right. We're gonna skip through the first two teams, but I'll mention their names anyways.
Yep.
Spurs, come on, and then the Blazers.
Yes.
Like I don't think anybody expected them to do anything this
Yeah.
year.
Shout out. Vic.
Um,
Hope Scoot gets better. He looks like
Yeah.
he's trying to get comfortable. So rooting for those
Yeah.
guys, but
But it's not your
much.
time yet.
Yeah.
All right, Memphis. This one's interesting.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm buying.
Okay, listen. When I was taking notes on this on Memphis, right? Because they're 6-15 right now. They're what, 13th in the conference.
Yeah, 13.
I was selling the idea that they were contenders, like up top
Yeah.
tier team.
Mhm.
But I do not think they're gonna miss the playoffs / play in. I think
Mhm.
when Ja comes back, when Marcus Smart comes back, they're gonna be in the playoffs and they're not gonna be where they are in the gutter. So I am buying the Memphis Grizzlies with that context.
Mm-hmm. You buying Nathan?
Same, man.
Yeah.
I'm buying, bro. I mean, I'm pretty sure I had them top 3,
I had them top 4 at least.
top 3,
You
top 4, whatever. By
you
the end
and
of the
me
year.
had them top 3. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like they're playing with like G League players, man. They had to sign Jalen Noel. I forgot the other guy that
Biombo. They had to sign
yeah,
Biombo.
Yeah, they signed
Biombo.
Yeah.
Biombo.
I also found like a hidden gem. I forgot what his name is, but young guy, but
The
he was like an energy
short guy?
dude. He was like a guard. He was a wing.
Gilliard or something? I know he's been playing.
Gilliard. He was good too. What's his name? I don't know, but anyways, just when they get their guys back, obviously Marcus Smart and Ja is definitely going to change that culture. Like he's such an impactful player. Like it was going to take him a little while to get that chemistry back, but I think just overall, man, like the Grizzlies, they're a grit and grind team, man. They're going to find a way. Marcus Smart, the dynamic he's going to bring when he's actually healthy and to be able to play alongside Ja and just overall, like I think they're going to find that groove. And they're a team that they're capable of doing that. Like we've seen in the past couple of seasons. Like, we didn't think Ja was, just a superstar talent like that, and they just single-handedly carried the team to be, contender, but not really because they were just short.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I still got them in that like contender thing. Where, I could see them slipping into the 7th seed, not like off the play-in, obviously.
Right.
And OKC versus the Grizzlies is a matchup, man. Like that's not
Really healthy?
heavily
That'd be
favored.
fun.
Yeah, that's not heavily favored in either way. I think Ja clearly like changes the whole dynamic of this team, and is like instrumental, obviously. But you really see how like valuable he is to how they play and all that. And it doesn't help that they had, like you were saying, multiple people injured. They got like G League players playing. They're signing like free agents that weren't already signed in the season for a reason. So all of that has just been making it tougher for them. But I think the better play of like 3J and Desmond Bane will help benefit them for later on. Like I don't think that 3J is going to be like taking as many shots as he is right now. But the fact that he is a bit more comfortable being able to do that now compared to just in the beginning of the season, or like even like 5, 6, 7 games ago where it was like really, really rough efficiency wise. And even like on the defensive end, I would say the past like 3 or 4 games, he started to, pick it back up, and it looks like he is getting used to the idea of like having to create his own shit because no one is there for him. And then alongside, Desmond Bane as well, where it's like his shot making has had to go to another level along with like his playmaking in a sense, because no one else is able to do any of that kind of stuff on the team. So I think that like addition plus, Ja coming back, I'm sure he's going to come back with like, some kind of edge off of like being suspended 25 games and all that kind of shit that happened to him. I think that it wouldn't shock me very much if the Grizzlies snuck in that 7th seed and then they went on some kind of run. Just based off of like being looked at as an underdog, because I think that's also where they thrive the best, where teams are looking down on them, even though teams are going to respect Ja and stuff like that, but they're probably not going to give him the full benefit being a 7th seed and all that kind of stuff,
for sure,
even subconsciously.
And I think we touched upon this a little bit in our group chat, but with Ja being out, a lot of guys are being asked to play a role that aren't typically their role, and that really played into a lot of their early season struggles. So Ja kind of like rightens the ship. He's their actual number one, and then everybody else kind of slides into place. So when that happens, I know 25 games is a lot.
It is.
So,
but it's almost over.
It's almost over, and they have a good amount of season left.
Yeah.
Kind of right that ship, so to speak.
Yeah, like it is still rough because they're still like 5 games back right now from like even the 10th seed. So they would have to go on a run of some sorts. Like there's lots of games to play still, but it would be like, it is still like a feat that they have to go.
It is a feat for sure, but I think they're definitely, they have the talent and are capable.
Absolutely. Especially
Barring
when-
any actually injured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Once everyone comes back, they'll have like an actual squad, man. They've always been like touted as a team that has a lot of depth. So
Yeah.
yes, they lost some pieces obviously throughout the offseason, like Tyus and Dylan Brooks, but they were still like a very deep team, and they still are.
Mhm.
Just that hell, people are injured.
For sure. All right, Utah. I'm selling, bro.
I'm selling that shit,
Selling.
man.
So,
They look like a G League team minus Laurie. Like,
It's
for
rough.
real.
Having no one outside of Lowry basically is making it so that they can't really like. There's no real like shot makers, shot creators outside
No.
of him, and him having a hamstring injury at the moment isn't really
Mhm.
like promising either.
Yeah.
It's one of those injuries that can nag for basically a whole season before you can really like rest it. And I mean, maybe they're really taking their time. I think he was either practicing or doing shoot around more recently.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that. But I mean, I'm hoping that he comes back good. I think there is a world. I don't know how much Jazz fans are in like on the boat of it, but like of him getting shipped off as well, because
Laurie?
yeah, just because he is like he's not old, but
He's like 26.
yeah, but he's like in that
Yeah.
about to hit prime stage, and he just had his best season, so his mark or his value is the highest it is.
Right.
And it doesn't look like this rebuild is moving as fast as they may have they may have thought the year before.
Compared to last year, yeah.
So them still being in an actual rebuild, I think it could be a disservice to Lowry and how good he is to keep him on that kind of team.
I wouldn't. The logic is sound, and it makes sense to trade a guy that's kind of like the in between phase,
Yeah.
where obviously the player is going to want to win, but the team isn't in that spot yet. But the GM is Danny Ainge, and Danny got like 4 or 5 first round picks for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And he's gonna want some shit for Lowry.
Oh, for
So-
sure, for sure.
But no, I just the Cinderella run is over, right? They started 9-2 last year or something.
They were
And
really up there.
it was fun for them, but reality kicks in, right? Like they just don't have that level of talent to win at a high level yet. But that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna sell on them, but I don't think anybody expected the Jazz to make any real noise.
Yeah. I mean, I like some of their players right now. I like a couple of their rookies are cool. Obviously,
Yeah.
Keontae is like starting. He looks promising. He just isn't super efficient right now. But I like what they're building. But like I said, I just think
Yeah.
that alongside
true.
Lowry, being the age that he is, and also like potentially dealing with this hamstring thing, I wouldn't hate if they traded him off somewhere. And I think it would. I mean, I'm rooting for players more so than anything else. So I
Yeah.
would want Lowry to be on a competitive squad. That would be nice to see.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we selling.
Dude. Yeah, selling for sure. Jazz ain't got nothing. They trade Lowry.
Yeah.
I think if Danny wants to go on a like selling spree, man, he got to get rid of Lowry and Jordan Clarkson.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Don't got to be there no
Jordan
more.
Clarkson be just shooing that shit, man.
Clarkson and Kelly O. Yo,
Oh my god.
get Kelly O back in Boston, baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. He'd be a very different kind of center for what we're like rocking with more recently.
Nah, for sure. All right. This next one's gonna be interesting. I'm interested in what you guys feel. But Golden State.
You guys go first.
You can go. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I mean, it's up to you.
I can go first. I'm selling, bro. I'm selling. And okay, so here's why.
Yeah.
From what I've seen so far, Steph is Steph. Steph is still
Of course.
Steph.
Yeah.
Right. Look, Clay look washed, bro. Like, he
absolutely.
actually looks completely washed. I don't buy it, man. I don't see the depth there. Kuminga hasn't really developed in the way a lot of people were hoping he would. Stepping into that a more prominent role. Draymond doesn't look as great, and you know how when Draymond usually acts out when he's not playing well, and he's been acting out. I just think overall, it's top to bottom, minus Steph, the roster just doesn't look great, man. Wiggins doesn't look good this year. Who the fuck else is on their roster, bro? Chris Paul's been injured. But but even when he wasn't injured, he's been okay, but not great. Like
Yeah, I actually
I
really
don't
liked
know.
him so far. Like he was
Like,
super inefficient, but like he
yeah,
was
but he was
really
setting up.
playmaking. It was very, very
Yeah,
funny. It was interesting.
it was one of those things. But like, it's just the Warriors team is kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? They're all over the place,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, personally, I just think they're past it.
Yeah,
So I'm selling as well. I mean, I think even the general consensus of fans is kind of just like,
it's over.
yeah, it's not like, oh, trade these pieces or whatever. I don't know, because like I said, I don't know what the real
Yeah.
verdict for that stuff is. But yeah, Clay is definitely like washed in a sense.
Mm.
And Steve Kerr is unwilling to play like the younger guys.
Yeah.
He's trusting too much and has like that relationship too much with the original core.
Oh, the
Yeah,
dynasty core.
that he's not coaching the way that you would if you were unbiased basically. I think like even that Kings game where they fucking blew the crazy lead. Moses
Yeah.
Moody hit every shot that he could possibly make
And he
and
subbed them
still
out for
got
play.
subbed out.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff is just like crazy because yeah, it just highlights the fact that Steve Kerr is still biased in that kind of way and thinking it's still reminiscent of the old times because I do understand the sentiment of like even if something like that were to go like a player like that were to really go off, you trust your starters because you know they're your starters for a reason and stuff like that. Obviously like there's different philosophies with coaching and all that, so I try to understand what he's going for. But Clay overall has not proved that throughout the season in general. So if something
Yep.
like that were to happen, it just would make sense to leave Moses Moody in, especially because I feel like he's a super underappreciated player or like underrated player. Like not many people have him on the radar, but I think
Yeah.
he could be extremely effective anywhere else. Like
Mm.
starting level, like high level role player essentially.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm on the selling too because basically everyone you listed is valid. Like Moses Moody,
Yeah.
I think Kuminga's cool with starting time, but he just doesn't get that consistency either, and it's hard to find a flow in that kind of way. And yeah, Wiggins feels like he's just complacent, like he's plateaued after everything, which
Sold his
doesn't
soul.
surprise us.
Bro.
What's up?
That motherfucker sold his soul for us, bro.
That's facts, and
It's
it's
a
like not
shame.
surprising because it feels like he's done that throughout his career, from like all the way from high school up to now. That he
Yeah.
just kind of settles once he's in a good spot. So yeah, Steph is Steph, but outside of that, everyone else is kind of just like they're getting old and they're not as effective anymore. And
Yep.
Steph ain't like he's not gonna be able to hard carry unless the coaches or the coach.
He needs some help.
Yeah, the coach really buys into the idea of putting everyone that could help Steph as much as possible. Because right now he's not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I agree with everything you guys have said. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, to buy or sell. Like,
Mm.
I just don't think, I can't really sell, in my opinion, because I don't think they'll be, like, they just won't make the play. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But I think the ceiling or the best that they will get to at the end of the season will be like play in or sneak into that seventh spot. But I think it's just the Warriors. I think regardless if they could go on a little streak, Steph would pull his Steph shit and put him in that position to at least be competitive in the playoffs or have a chance at it. But I think if they end up in the play-in, I think they're going to be a dark horse to actually make it into the playoffs and maybe snag an 8 seed. And to be honest, I don't think a team probably would want to play the Warriors. I think at any time, Steph could turn it on. And yeah, Clay has had a freaking looks like he's washed and he's deserved. He's just be chilling, like go chill with his dog Rocco or whatever. But, dude, like I think I don't know. I think it's just a long course of the season. I think he's the type of player that, he hasn't been playing to hit the level after his injuries, but I feel like he can get to that level, like if he's in the moment. But
I feel like
I mean,
with Clay though, with the few games that I've been able to watch for the Warriors, he's playing like it's still 2019,
Yeah, for sure.
but he doesn't have those same capabilities anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it also feels like he's trying to do more. right?
Yeah.
Like I think Clay is famous for 60 points, 11 dribbles.
Yeah.
When you start seeing Klay Thompson try to cross people up, you got a problem. like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I think the situation for the Warriors is really interesting too, because I think Kyle may have touched on this a little bit, and the way their roster is constructed, right? Clay is coming up on a free agency
Mhm.
in the offseason, and he wants a max contract. I don't think you can give him a max contract, man.
I don't know.
And
No.
if they do, they're kind of crippling the franchise, in my opinion, because you can't give that dude $50 million a year, and
Mhm.
because you obviously one have to pay Steph, and two, like, do you trade him? Do you trade him? And I think this is what Kyle touched upon. Like, we don't know. We're not Warriors fans. Like, I wonder what the consensus is on the trade, because
Yeah.
this could easily flip for them because they have a legit number one on their team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like if
And-
you buy in the
yeah.
stuff, like,
By,
which I
by the
personally,
deadline, they could
yeah.
change.
I always, try to buy into what you have now rather than trying to do a mix of both. Because obviously we saw the Warriors trying to, build for the future, but also like contend now and stuff like that. But I'm always on the boat of like, fully go in as like Celtics fans and stuff like that. I love everything that we've been doing, where it's like Jason Tatum is like, we're trying to win now, and Jason Tatum is like the timeline now, where it's not like, oh, we have 10 years with JTJB, so let's be patient, blah blah blah. Like, nah, like we got to win now, because
Exactly.
there's no guarantee of anyone staying or anyone still producing to the level
Right.
that they are at the moment. So yeah, and like obviously it's highlighted even more with Steph because he's older.
Mhm.
There's no guarantee that the next couple of years or like even next year that he'll produce at being a top 2 point guard essentially in the league. So capitalize on that and like build the best team around them that you can. And like I said, I don't know if that is the consensus for Warriors fans to be like, all right, we got to like ship off, Moses Moody and Kuminga and even Clay
Right.
and all that kind of stuff to bring as much useful assets to Steph as we can, or if it's like we've done our thing, let's ride it out, and we're not like, I don't think anyone wants to give Clay the max, but just the idea of like ride it out
Yeah.
with Clay as long as he is
As you
on the
can,
team, but
for
after
sure.
that, like we don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there are people like that too. Because
Right.
yeah, it's not
Tell
like
you
they
one
don't
thing.
deserve that kind of like love because they brought like what 4 chips to them to the
I tell
team.
you, I
So-
tell you one thing: Bradley Stevens would trade Klay Thompson.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on. Actually, the more I'm looking at the lineup, the West is really interesting.
Yeah.
So the next one's New Orleans. Kyle, I'll let you go first. These are your boys. But I have my reservations already. But yeah,
I think them getting healthier now, with Trey Murphy coming back, CJ has been back for a couple games. The only like real thing is just Zion and his like his health, essentially his weight, his body, and all that stuff. I'm still like a fan of the Pels and think that they can do very well. So overall, I'm buying. Like, I don't think because they're 10 right now. I don't think that they would be out of the play-in. I assume that they're either maintaining this and staying in the play-in, or even just like getting into that
Right.
7th seed or 6th seed, something like that. Because the West is so close right now. Anyone goes on a run, they could jump up to 6 easily.
Right.
So I'm buying the stock that they'll still maintain the team that they are, or slash like do better. I think the only question mark is really just Zion and his like effectiveness. Like, this is his floor right now, and it's like still really good. And it sucks that like we all see like the player that he could be, and
Yeah,
even
for
like
sure.
his first like real NBA season when he was like killing it on like basically 70% of it like field goal percentage, and it was just like he was running through people. And it's not even close to that right now. And yeah, they obviously just got blown out by the Lakers, crazy.
Yeah.
In the in-season tournament. But I think everything around them, I still really I still really like the build, and a lot of the young guys I do really like. I think once Trey
Right.
Murphy really finds his footing again, that'll be like super effective spacing wise for them. Herb Jones is fucking elite. I love him as a player, like defensively.
Who's their rookie? I forget his name.
Hawkins.
Hawkins is really
Jordan
good.
Hawkins shoot the lights out. So it's like they are doing a good job of like trying to supplement around the players that they do have. because
Mhm.
obviously we see a lot of people who don't get the kind of players like the Pistons or some shit like that, where it's like they're doing a terrible job of putting the right stuff around Cade right now. So yeah, I have faith that they
Yeah.
still will do stuff. So I'm still buying personally.
Okay. Okay, in the context of not missing the play-in and being where they are, I do think they hover around the 8 to 10 spot.
Yeah.
So in that context, I'm buying. But in the context of the ceiling of this team, I'm selling. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, yo, Zion was out there looking like Dresky, bro. Like, that boy was big. He looked like me on the court.
Yeah, I mean the team will only go as far as Zion takes them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that in that context, because like I actually had I don't remember where I had the Pelicans because there were so many teams, but like I did see the potential of them being literally a top 4 team in the West.
Yeah, I think
They
they
have
like
that
top
much
6 or
talent.
something.
They have that much talent, but
Yeah.
like I just don't see that anymore, especially with the way Zion's. It's obviously a commitment issue. Did you see the report that came out after the
Yeah.
tournament? Like
Yeah.
the official from New Orleans asked Zion to stop eating Wendy's or some shit, and he said no. The reason I say that is because literally right after that report came out, somebody posted a picture on Twitter. They were a Wendy's worker at the drive-thru,
Yeah,
and it was Zion.
That's so funny.
But no, like it's the commitment thing, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate for the Pelicans because like we've seen what he can do and potentially be.
Bro, it's
Mhm.
crazy. Like,
They could literally be a top team in the league, not just the West, the league.
yeah.
And the boy is just addicted to Wendy's. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just crazy to think about. But I mean, it's like some players are built like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was more of the case more so in like the 90s or like early 2000s before I was like really aware of like, or I was really like watching the game and stuff like that, where you would just have like super talented players that just never became what they could be because there's just so many outside distractions, whether that was like really bad stuff or just like they didn't care that much, and they just got through talent. But I feel like in more recent years it's become way more rare that top talents really just like don't like kind of give up essentially or like not care. I feel like a lot of people like do care. It's just a matter of like if the talent was really like it really translated or not, which is why we see like bust nowadays. But yeah, it's I can't think off the top of my head besides like, I mean, I wouldn't even say like Ben Simmons, but like off the top of my head, where like a star player like that who's so promising just doesn't really care that much.
Ben Simmons cares. He just got bullied.
Yeah, I'm like Ben Simmons was such a unique case that I don't even want to like say that. Like, there's so many layers to that, but he did get bullied at the court.
He did. I mean, for me, I'm buying. I'm buying for where they're at right now. I think they just stick to the position they're at. And Zion's the biggest question mark there. Other than that, CJ was out for a couple weeks with his lung. They just got back Trey Murphy. Jose Alvarado just got back for a couple games. I think they maintain where they're at for the rest of the season. Maybe go on a little run, but I just don't think they snag a guaranteed playoff spot. I mean, they have the talent to do so, which I guess you could say really wouldn't surprise me. But I just don't think that they're built for like just to actually be one of those top 7 seeds.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I'm buying them in this area, but it's unfortunate because I do think they're capable of more. The talent alone is going to keep them there.
Yes. So I mean, the Zion thing will be interesting, depending on what the team wants to do with him, or Zion, what he wants to do.
They need a real vet. Like,
I mean, I feel like CJ plays that role.
They're relatively close in the same age. CJ's only what, 28?
No way, CJ's
28. 32.
He's like 32.
Is he 30?
Yeah, CJ's got to be like 30 plus.
Damn, he's been in the league that long? I'm fucking old, bro.
CJ's 32. I was like, he's
32? Okay, all right. Maybe he going to Wendy's with him, man. Aussies do taste good.
Ain't CJ like the president of or not the president? He's one of the.
He's one of them. Him, Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams.
Yeah, I feel like he was like the president, or like the.
He's the very top, but they're like kind of all.
Yeah, it is like still like together, like a core, but like.
I think the top Iguodala now.
Oh, is he?
Isn't
Maybe.
it active players
I
though?
think
Okay.
it's,
Because
I
Iggy
Well,
think
retired.
Iggy. Yeah, but
Maybe.
I think he's just the top of the top now.
Maybe
I'm pretty
he'd
Yeah.
be
sure.
in like a different
I can
position
see that.
technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's
All right, move on. Okay, this one's gonna be interesting. The Clippers. So I'm I'm not gonna give them the New Orleans treatment because
Mhm.
I think a lot of I don't remember Kyle, but I think me and Nathan had them pretty high, right?
Yeah, I think I had them relatively high.
I
At
think
least
okay,
top six or
we
something.
all had them guaranteed playoffs.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
Nah,
I'm
I'm buying.
I'm selling, bro.
I'm buying.
I'm selling.
Nathan can say, and then I'll talk.
And-
Yeah, I'm selling, bro.
Dude, I mean, it's kind of tough. I think I'm gonna say I'm a buy
Yeah.
because I think yeah, you could go first.
Yeah, so I think they're figuring it out. It looked rough in the beginning. Obviously they
Very
went on like
rough.
the really bad losing streak.
Mm.
Lineups were all over the place. Westbrook then was like, okay, I'm gonna go on the bench, stuff like that. But yeah, I think throwing someone as massive as like James Harden into a 3-man core already was always going to be hard to navigate, and people were overreacting. But and especially in more recent times, I think they have figured it out, and that's like with more to like with room to get better, basically. They have figured out the offense in a way, which was what
Right.
was the thing that was struggling. I think defensively they're still holding up pretty well, and I think them getting that like not signature win, but like they got a staple win against the Nuggets that was like very key, and it was like convincing. It was competitive on both ends, and they ended up pulling it out. So I think they still fall into that contender range, like real contenders for me, which is why I'm like, this is probably the first team so far that I'm like actually like buying, where I'm like,
Okay.
I think they're going to get significantly better, but I also think that they can make like real noise in the playoffs. Every other
Yeah.
team was kind of like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like I think they'll get in the playoffs or whatever that the ones I did buy, but I do think the Clippers
Right.
could actually make noise in the playoffs. And yeah, I think I wouldn't be shocked if they made another move to get a big that works with them a bit more.
Well, Plumlee's been out. He hasn't
Yeah,
played.
Plumlee has been out, but I think like even a significant
Zubac.
like not a significant upgrade, but like an upgrade over
Mhm.
Zubac. And
Right.
yeah, Bones isn't playing that, so that's an asset because I mean he was effective when he was playing for them. So yeah, I think they're figuring it out, and there's just too many like smart players for it to not figure it out on the offensive end, in my opinion. And like I
Right.
said, they are on this mini win streak of 3. They've got that big win against the Nuggets, and it feels like they've figured out the pecking order in a way. It was very weird like watching Kawhi not like be passive basically. But now
Yeah.
more recently he's like, I'm taking my shots. And
Right.
he's been making them shots. So
Right.
yeah, that's
man.
got me.
I
Okay.
personally just like I obviously don't think they're gonna miss the play-in in the reference of the original cell definition. I guess they're not gonna miss the play-in. They may well make the 6th seed and lock in a guaranteed playoff spot. I personally just don't see them as a contender, man. Like not in the contender where I saw them in the preseason, because I feel like going into every season, you look at the talent and you're just like, damn, the Clippers are fucking talented, man. Like Kawhi, you got Paul George, now you got James Harden, now you got Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. You got Zubac, who's a solid center. You have Plumlee, solid center. Terrence Mann, solid glue piece. Shout out to Terrence Mann. Lol.
Sir.
But I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know if they ever gel in the sense that we see to reach those heights. I just don't. Obviously, it's you can consider it an overreaction from the first few games
Yeah.
that they played together. It did not look good, but we've seen this story before with James Harden. Like, like James in Philly. You're like, okay, he's the piece. He's gonna come in. They're gonna gel. They're gonna figure it out. He's gonna play his role. And then what happens when the stakes get high, right?
It's,
I think
the only reason why, I mean, obviously, I don't want to talk too much, but
no,
the only
for
reason
sure.
why I'll disagree with that is because
Mhm.
his teammate right there was Joel Embiid,
No, that's true too.
and
That's true
his
too.
coach was Doc Rivers. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
Those and
Ty Lue's coming from the Rivers tree, bro.
yeah, but Tyler's won a chip, so
With LeBron James.
yeah, but in more recent times he's won a chip.
Yeah.
So in that I don't mind too much, and I
Yeah,
do
for
think
sure.
Ty Lue is still like a good coach or like a great coach in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. He was asking for like 10 games or something like that to figure it out, and
Yeah.
it's been probably a little bit more than that, but it looks like they're figuring it out. So I think
Yeah.
giving that that grace to a team with new big additions like that
No, for sure.
is natural, or like what people should expect, not like the big three Nets where they're just all firing on all cylinders as soon as they link up and stuff like that.
Nah, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that depth stuff, like I think they're relying way less on Harden now, which is what it should be, because
Because they have George
because I
and
think even
Kawhi,
in
yeah.
Philly he obviously was that top two, like he was supposed to be that running mate alongside
Right.
Joel Embiid, but I don't think they look at Harden to be that at all. He's just any contribution on the offensive end in terms of like scoring wise is a plus. What they want him to do is play make, and like and obviously he's like a high IQ player, so like be effective in those kinds of ways. But I don't think that he's
Yeah.
going to be looked at as the one that needs to save them in like certain playoff situations. It's going to be PG and Kawhi, and obviously Kawhi is not Embiid in my opinion. Like
Oh, no.
Embiid is at this moment, or like at this point in time, like a much better player overall. But Kawhi is like, I will trust Kawhi in the playoffs no matter what. Like
Yeah, for sure.
even if he is looking like slower or older and all that kind of stuff, like he is still built for like those kinds of moments, and like you can trust him that he's gonna be locked in.
Yeah.
And then like even PG has led his team to the Western Conference Finals. Like
No, for sure.
well, Embiid
And I
didn't do
think
shit.
I think at this point though, like I said, it's obviously this is all theoretical.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I do think they're gonna gel to the point where they're a good team, and they're gonna make. I think they're gonna guarantee a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Right.
Easily,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But I'm not looking at it in the sense like where the Pelicans, where they're gonna stick in the play-in. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it from a contention standpoint, and I honestly I don't think you can contend while figuring it out.
I think by then they'll
makes
figure it out. They'll
I
have
don't
it
know,
figured
man.
out.
I hope so for their case, because it would be funny to see the Clippers beat the Lakers. but I just don't see it, so I'm gonna sell.
Yeah, I'm buying because I mean, for me, again, this is the first time, well, before the Harden trade, it was the first time we really saw PG and not the first time, but PG and Kawhi were actually forced, and they were playing games together. I think the Clippers were actually doing pretty good prior to the trade, and then obviously Harden got traded there, went on like 5-6 game losing streak. Again, they need that time to gel, especially playing with somebody like Harden who's ball dominant, and you got PG and Kawhi who's also ball dominant. So I think PJ Tucker just made a comment like he said there's not enough basketballs in the world for everybody on the team.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of like a overstatement in my opinion, because I think PG and Kawhi are definitely they've showed it during this little mini streak that they're willing to be be a little passive and kind of just buy into the team. I think it's going into like year 4 of them being together, and they haven't really accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. Like PG, yeah, he led them to the Western Conference Finals alone because Kawhi got hurt, and they eventually came up short. But I think now they're just, as a team, Ty Lue's just kind of like setting the standard. Like, all right, this is what we got to do. We got to buy into the end goal, like the championship. We want to contend. We want to reach that height. So, and Kawhi obviously has done it before, so he's gonna have to be the leader. And I think now just Harden, with Harden being on the team now, I think teams don't really necessarily have to game plan against him. Like Kawhi and PG are the top 2 guys. They're going to game plan to try to stop them. So it's kind of putting Harden in a different situation where it's like, all right, I'm kind of like the third option. He's going to have to find a way to impact the game and be that, X factor if they want to win. So if that's the case, I think they're definitely going to figure it out. And like Kyle was saying, they're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. I
Yeah.
actually think like if they stay healthy,
Mm.
they're easily be my pick to make the Western Conference Finals. Oh,
Mm.
that's just me.
Yeah, I think
Like,
what is it? Like Harden has definitely lost a step, but the fact that
mhm.
he won the Sixers 2 of the games against us is
Mhm.
in the playoffs is like that could be repeated in this upcoming playoffs with the Clippers. Like, cause like I said, they're not expecting him to drop that 40, but for him to be capable to do that, just further like cements the idea that they are going like they just have that depth in my opinion. Because obviously Kawhi and PG are going to be the ones that you look at to lead the team to win in these playoff series and stuff like that. But if Harden can do that on occasion as the third option essentially, that just brings me like more confidence for the team. And obviously like
Yep.
people just may have the perception of like, yeah, we've been saying this for years, and that like they're basically sick of it because they haven't proved it or anything like that, and that's all valid. But like I said, in my opinion, if there was ever a time, it'd be now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And yeah,
I don't think-
I'd be very shocked if they didn't figure it out because even though like I've been saying it's like a big addition, like it is a big addition that they need to figure it out. I don't think it's not even where it's not close to the same as like when a big three comes together. Big threes generally don't win in the first season because they're figuring it out. Like there's 3 high level players trying to figure out how to play together. But right now it's just one high level player attaching themselves to 2 to slash like 3 with if we include Westbrook as well. So it is like a different situation like that. I don't think we'll take a whole season to figure out.
No, for sure. They definitely have the talent to accomplish that. So, but also, I want to just throw this in there. The 3-game win streak includes them not playing PJ Tucker at all. So, I wonder if that's a coincidence.
Hey, I mean, he wasn't doing anything even when he was playing. So
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So
Cardio.
let's move on. This one's gonna be interesting. Houston. Okay, back to the context of if they can keep up this pace.
Yeah.
I think Houston can make the play-in.
I'm
So
selling.
I'm buying.
I'm selling because
I'm buying.
based off of what I'm saying, they would have to be the one that's like out. Like if
What do you
I'm
mean?
buying on the Grizzlies, there's no way that the Rockets can make it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gotcha.
So like I think everyone else on the top is good. But when like 6 and up obviously like are still going to remain in that play-in. So if there's an odd man out, it's the Rockets. If I think the Grizzlies are going to overtake or going to go into the play-in.
It could also be the Pelicans.
It could be, but I trust the Pelicans more than the Rockets. 100%.
Ime Udaga, baby.
Like we've seen the variance in the Rockets play, in my opinion, where it's like they'll have good stretches and then they'll lose like 4 straight, and then they'll win 3 straight, and then they'll lose like 2 more straight. So
Nah, for sure.
I think that's just the product of them being a young team. They're playing a lot better, and they have like the vets that they need, and obviously Ime is being the coach that like we saw him for the Celtics and stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't think they have that consistent like
Yeah, they're
guys
just
yet.
they're just a young team.
Yeah, they're just a young team and they're gonna make like fuck ups. Like even their best player, Sengun, is like he's not gonna be a perfect player in year 2.
Right.
So even though he's playing at a borderline all-star level, I just think that he's not at the point where he can hard carry as a center as well. A team to even like the play in, especially with how competitive the West is.
I mean, I look at the team where it's like Ime has kind of put them in a position where they're playing through Sengun as opposed to Jalen Green.
For sure.
And that works out better because Jalen Green is more of like a finisher, right? He's not the guy that should be running your offense. So that transition to that, and then you add guys like Dylan Brooks. I know we make fun of Dylan Brooks, but
Oh, froze. You're freezing.
really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird. It's still recording.
Okay, you did it like once or twice earlier too, but you weren't talking. So
Okay, that's weird. All right, I'm gonna cut this part out. But okay, what? Where did I freeze?
just Dylan Brooks.
What did I say?
You're saying that he was like
All
we
the NBA
clown
player.
on Dylan Brooks and stuff.
Oh, okay. But yeah, okay. So yeah, we clown on Dylan Brooks, but like he's a solid NBA player, right?
Yeah,
he can
for sure.
defend and he can contribute if he's not asked to do it in a high volume offensively, right? And Fred Van Fleet, we know what he can do.
It's been good.
But no,
playmaker.
that I think as they figure it out, as they start to figure out ways to figure out Amen or Asar.
Amen.
Amen, yeah. So as they figure out getting Amen Thompson back, right? The Thompson twins. I think they can actually keep up this pace, man. I do.
Yeah,
And
I think they keep up the pace, but I think
I feel like buy sell. I feel like buy sell is buying the team. So like I know I get what you're saying. Where like if you buy the Rockets and the Grizzlies, that doesn't make sense because one team has to make it.
Yeah.
But I do think they can keep up playing the way they played because they're very like you're like what's the fucking word of the Lord? Your standard run of the mill young team where they're 9-1 at home.
Yeah.
And they're 1-8 on the road.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, right? but no, I do think they can figure it out, man. And Ime is like legit the coach that can kind of guide them there.
No, I agree. I think they'll still be good, like I'm saying. But
yeah,
sure. Yeah, I just don't think that I think they'll end up falling, which is why I'm saying I'm selling.
Okay.
They may still remain they may still maintain that level of play, and it's not a product of them falling off in terms of like doing worse, but rather that other teams will just reach a higher peak than them. Because I don't think that they have like obviously every team has higher peaks. Like if things are rolling for the Rockets, things are rolling. Like Fred VanVleet could be like playing out of his mind along with like Sengun and Jalen Green and all that kind of stuff. That is totally a possibility. But I think they'll just maintain the play that they're at right now and go through the struggles of being a young team. And like I said, Sengun being their engine, while I think in the near future that will be the like what leads them to playoff contention and like championship aspirations even maybe. I just don't think that he is experienced enough to be the sole engine. Similar to like Sabonis or what is it? Jokic, obviously. Like Sabonis has De'Aaron Fox with him to help a lot of that. Obviously, like Sabonis is technically like the key to their offense because of like DHOs and all that kind of stuff. So I think Sengun can play that similar role, but he just doesn't have his own like experience, but also like that running mate with him that can do that in the way that like Fox can for Sabonis.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm buying Rockets. Necessarily, I'm not saying like I think they maintain the level of play throughout the season. But again, like Kyle was saying, I think I wouldn't even expect the Warriors to even maybe outplay them and snag a spot in the play-in. I just think as a team, just in general, I'm buying because I personally like the talent on the team. Again, and Ime being the coach, I think he's just gonna set these guys up for success and just constant improvement. Again, and adding you could say vets and Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks, it's definitely gonna promote that growth. And we've kind of seen it with Sengun. He's made that jump. I think Jalen Green still has work to do. He's
Unfortunately,
just being really inefficient, and he has his moments. But I think it's just time, like another new coaching system and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think over time, by the end of the season, I think they'll be in the hunt, and it won't surprise me if they actually make the play-in. Or
I agree with that.
I don't expect them
It
to
wouldn't surprise me.
make the playoff. Yeah, but I think just overall, they're good at home and you're bad on the road, so it's kind of like you're kind of in the middle there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
we'll see how the rest of the season goes. I guess
they're kind of in that boat where we didn't expect them to be anything this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up dropping out of the play-in, but they're fighting for a play-in spot.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's why I'm buying.
Yeah.
All right. So, this next one's gonna be fun. Phoenix.
I mean, you gotta buy, in my opinion.
Yeah, you gotta buy.
Like,
especially with Bradley Beal being out and not
they're
playing at all.
They're just riddled with injuries. Yet they're still like
12 and 10,
and like they're like a game and a half away from like being the 3 seed or something like that. It's like that 3 to 7 is very like close right now. But yeah, I mean they win that play-in or the in-season tournament game, and they're technically up in the standings already. They're like
they were robbed by the way.
So it's like them being like they're robbed. So it's like I have no worries about the Suns. I don't know if they'll go to the finals and all that kind of stuff, like we're talking about in the off season or when the
Yeah.
season was just starting. I think they still have that potential, but it's just there's no way you can't buy. Like they haven't even
Yeah,
played with
100%.
their big three, and
Right.
that's why I say I hold reservations because I don't even know if Beal will be who he is when he does come back.
Right.
So I won't say that I think they'll reach the finals like we were talking about.
Mhm.
But yeah, to only have like one star for like majority of the season, like because when KD's out, Booker's in. When Booker's out, now KD's in. Stuff like that. Like
Right.
they've barely played like games as a duo for that matter. Like
Yeah.
for a good chunk of the season so far. So
No, for
there's
sure.
no way I can't buy on them.
For sure. And I will say, like, we were talking about this in the off season, and we were like impressed with the Suns GM for building that depth, and their depth has been playing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Utah has been good in spot minutes. Bates Diop, Eubanks,
Goodwin.
Goodwin's been
Goodwin's
pretty
nice.
good. Okogi's been solid.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
they've all been really like solid pieces around Devin Booker and KD. So like those guys literally taking turns carrying and being out
Yep.
is a testament to how good that team actually can be. And then if Beal comes back and slots in any way, shape, or form, they can easily. I don't know who's gonna drop out, but they're easily in the top like 4 or 5 teams in the West.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It'll be surprising to see who drops out as well.
yeah.
Easily, yeah. I mean, I'm buying, man. Any KD led team, you gotta buy, man. Like they're just gonna have a chance regardless. And again, I think Bradley Beal comes back. I think kind of the same for me, same boat as the Clippers.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when he comes back, I think being the third option, something that he hasn't really. I mean, he's been a second option, I guess,
Yeah,
to John Wall.
Third.
Mm,
Never been a so being a third option. I think it's gonna kind of be. It's gonna take the pressure off him. He's just gonna be able to hoop like. And then the Suns, they're already good with D-Book and KD on the floor.
Yeah.
So imagine having somebody of a caliber like Bradley Beal, knowing that he's going to be healthy and he's not going to be injury plagued for the season.
Yeah.
It's
that would
going to
just
be
my thing.
it's something.
As long as he comes back like the player that we know him as, even if that's like
Mhm.
an older version of that, I think they would be fine. But I think he's dealing with like back stuff, so there's no like guarantee he'll be that way. Like I'm hoping that he
Yep.
is, just for the sake of ball, like just
Yeah.
just watching good ball. So
the thing is, with him being on the Suns, all he has to be is a shot maker.
yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So
Like
Yeah.
him in the, I think him implementing as like the third option is way
Mhm.
easier than someone like James Harden. James Harden needs to be a facilitator, so he's
Yep.
adjusting to being a facilitator plus a reduced role in scoring, which he hasn't done in a while.
for sure.
So for Beal, he just needs to be like he's a plug and play. All three
Yeah.
of them are plug and play players in my
Pretty
opinion.
much.
So I think
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
why like they're so enticing for NBA watchers.
No, for sure.
Mhm.
All right, Sacramento.
Let
think-
me see what I actually had that on them. Oh, I had them as L.
Did you?
I did.
Mm.
But that was mainly because I was just like Phoenix would probably be the one to like.
It's one or the other. So like, I
Yeah.
I get the logic behind that. I have them as a buy, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're the team that ends up dropping out.
Yeah, because I
and
had them.
Phoenix
I had them in the
before.
play-in anyways. Like they were still like
Mhm.
7-8 or whatever like that. But I just think that top six I had basically what
Yeah.
this top six is.
The West
So-
is just stacked.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just think that they'll similar to the Rockets where they'll maintain this same level of play, but they'll just
Mhm.
they just don't have that same peak as the other teams that may go on like
Ah, for
7-game
sure.
win streaks rather than like going 5-2 in that stretch.
For sure.
And that'll just drop them down because the West is so close.
Mhm.
I mean, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm selling. I just don't. I don't get. I mean, last season, I think. I mean, you guys were high on them. I was like, a little in between, I guess you could say. But I
Mhm.
think this season, I just don't think they're the same. I think like the hype of the beam lighting the beam last season was crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's not the same this year. Like
Mhm.
they're still good. Their majority of the team is, I'm pretty sure, is still the same.
Yeah. They
But,
have
like,
been riddled with injuries, to be fair.
Injuries, yeah,
But like,
Yeah,
I
but-
do get what you're saying.
yeah. But I mean, again, they're not gonna surprise me if they snag a top 6 or something like that. But I think it's just it's kind of like run its course, in my opinion. It's kind of like how the Jazz had their little Cinderella run. Not saying like the Kings they're just going to completely drop off or they're going to be horrible because they still have De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, and then their role pieces are pretty good. I think just overall, like the competition in the West, I just don't think they match up. Because like if you're still getting owned by the Warriors,
I mean, for me, I think it's just more of the makeup of the team. I think Sabonis can only get you so far, and we all saw that like in the playoffs, like his deficiencies basically. For as good as like he is running the engine of this team and how pivotal he is for how they play. I just think there's always going to be a cap with the Kings as long as Sabonis is a top 2 player on your team, and honestly like the anchor of your team. Him not being even close to like a good anchor is honestly the downfall of the Kings. Like we talk about how like Jokic, or the perception has been like, oh, Jokic isn't a good defender, blah blah blah, but like he's a solid anchor on the defensive end. He's not Rudy
he's
Gobert.
a deterrent.
Yeah, he's not a Rudy Gobert or like a Joel Embiid in that sense, but he's not like bad the way that people try to like make it out to be before, at least. Same thing with like Sengun. Like I think he has a higher ceiling defensively. Even already he's already better defensively. But I just think Sabonis being that anchor is not going to help the Kings in any way. And I think teams already like acknowledge that. Like they understand that after seeing them lose in the playoffs in the way that they did.
No, for sure. I'm buying mainly because I think they keep pace where they're hovering around that 6-7 area. So like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if Phoenix overtakes them.
Yeah.
And they're the odd man out. But I do agree with what you guys are saying. I do think they need to be buyers at the trade deadline if they want to take that next step.
Yep.
Because Bonus and Fox aren't enough.
Yeah.
But
Spicy P.
That would be crazy. That would be fucking crazy. Spicy P or Laurie.
Laurie would be interesting.
Laurie would be good. Yeah.
I just think at that point you're really not buying into the defense.
Yeah, I know.
Laurie's decent defensively though. Like I'm not gonna say that he's not. Like
he's not gonna anchor though.
Yeah, he's not gonna anchor like that.
Yeah, but I'm buying just off the sole fact that I think they keep pace of what they're doing. I get what you're saying though. Like compared to last year, they had that little run.
Yeah.
So the expectations are different now.
It reminds me of what I was talking about with the Pacers, where it's just like you catch teams by surprise, high level or high level offense, because obviously they were like number 1 last year, and it's just like teams weren't the Kings were not on people's radars. If anything, they were a joke. So for them to for the whole season just have that offense, and teams weren't, you can't game plan in the regular season. You're just going through the motions until the playoffs. So it just really reminds me of that. So I think
for sure
that's why it's becoming more difficult, because people understand that the Kings are the way that they are and how they play, and obviously their weaknesses.
For sure. All right, Lakers. I'm buying.
That's the in-season tournament winner right there. What do you mean?
Champs.
The champs, bro. Of course they're going to be contenders.
I mean, like, I think at this point, I think all 3 of us had them as like legit contenders coming into the season, and it's just a matter of like just gelling.
It's been nice to see. It's like kind of weird because it felt like in the beginning of the season it was like, oh, like they came back as the same team, but they're kind of looking like shit still, and like no one understood why. Like, yes, they had maybe 1 or 2 injuries that were role players and stuff like that, but no one really understood. But now it seems like they're putting it together more so, and it just feels like the players outside of LeBron and AD are playing better. Like Austin Reeves is finding his footing again. D'Lo is like legitimately a good point guard, and doing well in those aspects. So it's been nice to see. But I do think it's worrying that LeBron is still like
LeBron has to be LeBron.
Player. Like he's still noticeably the best player at his age and the amount of wear and tear he has. Like if they could get the AD that they got last night all the time, obviously like that's expecting a lot. Like I'm not saying 40-20 AD all the time, and it is asking a lot for him to be the best offensive and defensive player. But shit, like LeBron is like.
I mean, if the Lakers are gonna win a championship, he's gonna need to be that.
He gotta be something close to it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
LeBron's got to remain healthy the whole time, which is rough to ask as for like almost
38-year-old LeBron, bro.
I would be interested to see if they do pull the trigger for like the Zach LaVines of the world, because I know obviously people
Yeah.
are talking about that. I think they have enough depth to be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like I think like Rui and Austin Reeves or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting because we saw how the 3-star experiment went last time. Obviously, it was like the worst star in terms of fit to get. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but if I do trade somebody, if I were the Lakers, I'd try to keep Austin Reeves because I think he's a good glue guy.
For sure.
But yo, if you can snag Zach LaVine for just D'Lo and Rui, you fucking do it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, low key, I get it. I don't know
You know what I
how I
mean?
feel about between like D'Lo and Austin Reeves because I think they're both like the same
The
level of
way-
player at this moment.
They are, but the way they've been playing, it seems like Reeves fits in better.
I agree because he's more of a
My
glue guy
opinion.
for sure.
Yeah, that's
But
what I mean.
I think that D'Lo having the higher peaks is making me like biased towards that because I just
Yeah.
think like this is the D'Lo that I've been wanting to like see for
It's-
like reminiscent of the Nets type shit, you know?
It's funny because it's your preference. It seems like you prefer the higher peaks, and I prefer the higher floors.
I mean, overall, I think
'Cause I prefer Reeves over
it
D'Lo.
depends. It depends. Like, I can't think of another conversation where it's similar to this, but I think in this unique
Yeah.
situation, I prefer like the peak of D'Lo.
Yeah.
Like, because I understand Reeves' value for sure.
Yeah.
But I just think that, yeah, having two or giving 2 role players for Zach LaVine is very interesting. But I think
Yeah, I would not give both.
no,
D'Lo
I
and
mean like
Reeves.
Rui and Austin Reeves.
I
Yeah,
give Reeves.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I would give Rui
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I give Austin Reeves too, man. I mean,
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I know. I get what Colin's saying. Me personally,
I know what you're all saying,
I-
man.
I don't like Austin Reeves, man. I definitely prefer D'Lo at like his best. Because also, I don't know. Austin Reeves, I think after last season, he's kind of a bit overrated. I mean, he's been playing well now. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but I think just that hype shit over him. It was kind of the same way when Alex Caruso was on the Lakers. I think Alex Caruso was. I liked Alex Caruso more than I did Austin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
Alex Caruso is
whatever.
fucking all defense.
Free throw merchant. Austin Reeves is a free throw merchant, bro. But the Lakers need that shit.
He is. That's the reason why he was
Well, yeah,
struggling,
man.
bro, because he wasn't getting those free throws.
Yeah. I'm buying the Lakers though. Definitely what they've showcased throughout this whole tournament, and we'll see how the regular season goes.
Yeah.
But I think they've kind of just proven that again, like any LeBron's going to be able to hard carry, and like even at his age. And AD kind of picks and chooses when he wants to be dominant, I guess. After screaming he's him yesterday.
He's just inconsistent offensively, in my opinion, and that's like
Yeah.
okay because he's super consistent defensively. Like he
Right.
is top 2 defender, in my
It's
opinion.
just facts though. But I think that in my opinion, I think you guys know I'm a big fucking Cam Reddish fan. So the fact that he was slotted into the starting lineup, and bro, he's been locking up.
Yeah, he's
Honestly,
been doing
so-
really good at that.
So and he's been hitting his threes. He's been actually, it seems like a lot of people are gonna say he's playing with LeBron, so he is kind of making it better, which is true, I guess. But I think he's really thriving, and he's kind of living up to that potential that people see and that I see. And I think that was a big move for them to slot him in the starting lineup, because if he wasn't getting no run going to the Lakers, it was kind of tough for me. But he's been showcasing that shit, bro. I'm telling you, like it was a joke because in the group chat, me and Mackie be talking, and he's like the king, like they call him obviously LeBron. And I'm like, man, LeBron ain't the king. Cam Reddish the king. He saved the Lakers. Dog.
That's funny.
Fuck that.
I think this is perfect for what he is trying to, or what he should be slotted in as. I think my only, not complaints, but like pessimism with Cam was just the projection of what like he could be and all those kinds of things of like, oh, if he got opportunity, he could be this, blah 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 blah. I think him like carving out this kind of role is much more suited for him, where it's just like three and like 3-and-D essentially. He's hitting his shots, but like he's really good defensively and using those physical attributes of his to defend. Yeah. When people were talking about like baby PG and shit like that, I'm like, yeah, I see it, but we can't keep projecting him as such. Like that's the reason why he wasn't on, or he got dropped from so many teams. Like they were not utilizing him in the correct way for sure.
Mm.
But I just think that a lot of people were projecting him to be a lot better.
I think a lot of that comes from that Anthony Edwards video.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean
You know
that's
what I mean? Where they were like, "Yo, Cam Reddish gave me more than 40." You know what I
And
mean?
more important,
But no, like
Yeah.
it's cool to see him get his opportunity though.
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
he's out. I don't think he's gonna be like a superstar or anything, but it's
Yeah,
cool
nah.
to see that he's getting his opportunity
Mhm.
and he can carve out that role. And he's
Yeah.
good. He's been playing
not,
really
not a
well.
lot of people can beat us on Braun teams, bro. Like
Yeah.
as simple as 3-D, like people are hella inconsistent. Like people try to get 3-D players to play with
Nah, for
Braun, and they just fall off the face of the earth. So for
Yes.
him to rise to that role, I guess, is it's been cool. It's nice to see
Yep.
that
Yeah.
they didn't have to go like shopping for one.
Nah, for sure. So we can skip the next team, Denver. We're all buying.
That's facts. I mean, they've been injury riddled, and
Yeah.
Jokic is
Jamal Murray.
fucking. He's had
Jamal
like the
Murray's
worst
been
2-game
out.
stretch ever.
Yeah. Murray's been out. Jokic has been struggling, but we're not selling the fucking
Yeah.
Nuggets.
That shit happened.
Any
They're,
chance?
it's the what did they call it? The championship hangover or some shit.
Yeah. It wasn't even a hangover. They started off hot.
Yeah.
They just started getting injured.
I just don't think they're
honestly.
like they care about going all out
Correct.
when they
Yeah.
have those actual concerns. Like
No, for sure.
Jamal Murray's out and stuff like that. They're not going to be like, we gotta win and get that top seed, even though
Yeah.
like still
No,
they're
for
just
sure.
pacing themselves.
Dallas.
I'm buying, baby.
I knew it. I knew
Hey,
it.
I gotta stay consistent, no.
Yeah.
I've been saying.
I'm selling, but not selling that they fall off or anything. I just don't think they're a top 3 seed.
I think
I think they end up like 4 or 5.
they could drop because of the Kyrie thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
how
I
it's
just-
gonna
I
go
just
down.
think they're 4 or 5. That's
Yeah.
it. But they've been playing well. I'm
Still
impressed
got
with
faith
how
that's
good
out
they
there.
are. I'm impressed with how good they are.
Luka is
Oh,
him,
also, Luca is him. It's funny that Kyrie's buying into that role, but he's playing with Luca. But I will say it's funny on Twitter that the Mavs fans are getting the full Grant Williams experience.
Oh yeah.
Because that shit been funny because he started off mad hot.
Yep.
He was hitting like 60% from 3, and I remember I forget which game it was, but he did his first like pump fake dribble, lose the ball,
Yeah.
and they were going crazy. I was like, oh, this is funny. You guys,
My favorite thing
have
is
no
like, what
idea.
does he even do? Like, hey man, that's what it'd be. He's super matchup dependent. Like he'll shine in certain matchups, but overall, like he's not. Bro, Sam Hauser's defending that perimeter better than him. Like,
Yeah.
goddamn.
100%.
Jamie Hauser, baby.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
funny.
buying them.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. It's funny because this portion is like buy sell doesn't make that much of a difference because I feel like we all think they're gonna be top teams.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean,
okay.
this makes sense. I think it'll be different on the East,
The
potentially.
East will be
Yeah, but the West, I think these guys are actually like the top teams for a reason.
no for sure. OKC, I'm buying.
I'm buying as
Mine.
well. I maybe they don't end top 2, but I'm buying in terms of like they're still going to be like top 3, top 4. in
Top
my
3,
opinion,
yeah.
Which is not even like that dramatic of a difference in my opinion.
Chet being as good as he is right out the gate is crazy. But yeah, no, buy for sure.
Mhm.
You said buy right, Nathan? Okay.
Yeah, mine.
Oh,
For
Nathan's
sure.
gonna love this one. Minnesota.
Oh, yo, no, man. I
I'm
told you
buying,
I'll
I'm
buy
buying.
hella stocks in that shit, man.
You said 2, right? You had them at the 2 seed
Yeah, I had
in
my
the
team.
preseason.
I think I had Denver at 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
buying. I think I still hold my like my statements where it's just like I really love the build of this team, and
Yeah.
the only glaring weakness, or like not even weakness, but the only glaring point is just Cat. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they were
That's
to
fine.
sell on him, then I would actually be like, yo, these guys can win a chip. But
Playing well though. Cat's
No,
been playing well though.
he has been playing well, but I just think that it's not like it won't not maintain itself, but the holes will be filled or found out in the playoffs, because I just
Yeah.
don't think that
Yeah.
he's a perimeter player. And like I've always loved the Rudy acquisition because it just made so much sense. Like they have
does.
really good perimeter defenders in Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and anyone off the bench, honestly, that are like active, and that's all that Rudy Gobert needed. And Rudy Gobert was anchoring like a top 3 defense every year on the Jazz without those perimeter defenders. So
Yep.
that combination of players overall, I just really love for the team. But yeah, like I said, I just think Cat will be the one like hole that could be abused in the playoffs. But
Right.
in terms of regular season, for sure, I'm buying on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's more than fucking nasty, man. Ever since they freaking beat us, I mean, I was already high on them. I wasn't surprised, to be honest. The Anthony Edwards, Nash Reed is him, bro.
Mhm.
I just that whole team, I just love it overall. Like, I still think they possibly be buyers at the deadline, kind of add, a piece too. But I think the way they're built right now, they're solid, man. Like, and Jaden McDaniels is out for a little bit with an injury. So, and they're still maintaining their level of play, to be honest.
Yep.
So, the fact that
Even
they're
when
gonna get
Ant
him
is having
back,
bad games, which is
Yeah.
nice to see.
and then Rudy's playing. He said he's still anchoring that defense, and he's
DPOY
actually
level again, man.
yeah, and he's playing like he's fully bought into the system. Like,
Yeah.
he knows his role. Like, I think just the other night he went 16 points, 20 rebounds, like 5 blocks, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Bro, he's going crazy.
It's
So
dope
he's
to
kind
see,
of
man.
like,
I think everyone clowning him too much, man. It was like I personally always saw the value in him, but yeah, people like clowning on him so crazy and trying to make it sound like he's not like a generational
Yeah.
defensive player, in my opinion.
Which
Like,
he is.
Yeah.
He's about to win potentially like a third, or I don't know if
Uh,
he has 3, like a 4th
Yes,
DPOY.
S3. So it's
Yeah.
funny because the people that were clowning on him were clowning on him for not being able to defend guards on the perimeter. But
Yeah.
dude, he's a fucking 7-foot center.
Exactly.
Who
exactly.
the fuck is
And
doing
he,
that?
He does his job to like a crazy degree, like anchoring
Yeah.
the paint.
But no, like I'm buying. Obviously, it's funny because it obviously took a full year to gel, but this was the vision I think all 3 of us saw last year. It obviously just didn't come to culmination because it takes time. But
Yep.
The
And
key was
they
obviously
had crazy injuries last year.
they had crazy injuries, but giving the keys to Ant and then everybody kind of buying into that like hierarchy, so to speak, has done
Mhm.
wonders for that team. But no, man, they're built exactly the way you would want. I think they're your prototypical build. They have 2 good bigs. They have the star wing. They have the solid point guard, Mike Conley. They have the wing defender, Jaden McDaniels. They have good bench pieces, Cal Anderson, Naz Reid. Like, that team, I'm not gonna say they're gonna win the championship, obviously, but they're gonna be scary in the playoffs, man.
Oh yeah.
And if you really don't like Cat Falori, baby, that'd be crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe I don't know, but I just think the 2 bigs thing is situational or like circumstantial. But I just don't think that Cat fits into that mold, because while Cat is doing well or like decent, I just think that people can be doing his role in such a reduced like fashion.
For sure.
Like for his
sure.
price tag
Mhm.
/ like his actual capabilities. I think
Yeah.
plenty of people can slot in and do everything that he's doing plus,
Yeah.
because of his own like limitations with like lateral quickness and all that kind of stuff. And it's working right now, like I said, because it's the regular season. But I
Right.
would not be shocked if in the playoffs he is like the main reason that they lose a series or something.
Right.
Mhm.
No, for sure. But at the moment, the way they're constructed, even with Cat, yeah, they're a really good, dangerous team, I think.
Yeah, because in my opinion, the prototypical build would be to have like 2 Jaden McDaniels, basically. Like
No. What I
one-
meant by prototypical is like every slot has a good player.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
valid.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the way that the NBA is now, in my opinion, I think that two Jaden McDaniels, one obviously being like the offensive superstar, but also is like good defensively, and then one
Yep.
who actually is like just the main defender and stuff like that, like
Right.
who will pick up everyone. I think that would be my ideal, and that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
for someone as good as Cat, you can find that wing that is high level on both ends as well, and then you have
Right.
the Jaden McDaniels, who is like the defensive bar of the team, because he's like all defensive NBA player as well. And then you have a great anchor in Rudy Gobert. That would be my vision, of course, and that's where I would be like, yeah, they can easily win a chip here. But who knows? Maybe they still do pull it out with Cat in the lineup.
I don't think they trade him, but
I think they do if they don't do well this year.
I'm talking about this year. They're not gonna trade him.
No, they wouldn't do it this year, especially if they're winning the way
They're gonna roll with this team most likely.
In my opinion, it's gonna be they go playoffs, They don't do like they may go far, but they may not win it all. And then
Yeah,
at that point, I feel like management would understand like, okay, we got to move on from Cat.
with the teams in the West, they're probably a second round exit. To be honest,
They could be.
potentially.
Yeah, I don't want to like project that, but
Yeah, we're not gonna
'cause
project that. But
I don't want to sound like a hater.
I can see it. I can see it. But they're legit.
Yeah.
No, I think
But
the Wolves
I'm
are
liking
legit.
what they're doing.
Top 2 seed, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on to the East real quick. We're gonna skip
do it.
Detroit. Holy
Yo,
shit,
low key, we
Detroit.
could skip like 5.
We could skip Detroit. We could skip the Wizards. We
Yep.
could skip the Hornets. I feel we could skip the Bulls. I think we're all
Yes.
selling the Bulls.
Hopefully, okay. So I'm gonna say like real tidbits like on all of them. Hopefully the Bulls blow it up, and commit to that. The Hornets, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Hope LaMelo gets healthy, but maybe they could do a little something when LaMelo gets healthy for the play-in. Wizards, they're just a fucking mess. I think
They're just trash.
I think Jordan Poole will figure it out a little bit more, and I think Kuzma will get traded to a contender, so that will like drop their stock, in a way. And the Pistons are just a fucking hot mess, bro. Like that, they're actually like they're sad to watch, bro. Like I pray for Cade, man. He has no help.
we can give them the young team excuse, but holy shit,
Dude, there are teams who have been in the same like timeline of rebuilds, like the Rockets and shit, and they're already like significantly better. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't even
An
want to give
0
them that.
an 0 and 15 month is insane.
Yeah, I
I
feel
don't
for
care
Pistons
where
fans,
you're at.
and
Yeah,
I pray for y'all. But goddamn, there's not much to talk
Yeah.
about there.
give us Jalen Duren.
Oh my god, they're amazing. But yeah, those are my little bits for all of them.
Yeah. So Toronto,
Oh wait, what did I have for Toronto? I think I had
have them as a sell.
Sell as well.
I'm telling.
I feel like they're in the same boat as the Bulls, dude. Send Spicy
Yes,
P's somewhere
yes.
and just go full
Yep.
rebuild.
I just think that
Yep.
they're different because they obviously have like Scotty and stuff. So it's like
Mhm.
they have good pieces. They just don't have great fit amongst everyone, and that's been like the fucking the story of the Raptors for like 3 years now. I think
Yeah.
ever since you got Scotty, it's just been redundant between
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
and Pascal because they have the same skill set.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I do like that this coach is focusing on Scotty now, where it's like this is our guy, and
He's having a good season.
He's having a great season. Could like MIP type season right now. So I think I think the only move that they may have to do is just shipping off Pascal, in my opinion.
Maybe
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
OG. Maybe
OG,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, I personally like OG and Scotty's fit. And OG is like not crazy old or anything like that. So he could end up being like the CJ for the Pels, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Where he's like he's still like early 30s, but he's still super effective, and they could be a contending team by that time.
OG on the
Yeah.
Wolves.
Yeah. OG on the Wolves would be nice.
That was crazy. What are you selling to, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm selling. I think just again same boy as the Bulls, man. Just blow it up. I think just give Scotty Barnes the keys.
Yep.
Let him
Let him ride out.
develop and
Develop,
just take do that. But yeah, they got like because Spicy P's probably one of the oldest guys on that team. You bring in Schroeder, who's also vet. And
He's been
so,
doing
like,
good.
Yeah, he's been doing good. Like
Good for them.
no like shame on him, whatever. But definitely just let Scotty ride out the whole season and just be the guy and have the pieces around him. Like even if they were gonna blow it up, I think just Spicy P would go.
Yeah.
And if it's not OG, maybe even trade Gary Trent because I know he's pretty. He's not happy being there. I guess you could say.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't been like made as much of a mark as you would have thought after losing someone like Freddie. Because I felt like them two were also like redundant in a way. But
Yeah.
maybe it's because of the addition of Dennis.
Dennis, yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
he hasn't had that opportunity to go into a higher role, anyways.
Bro,
Yeah,
probably-
and he was
yeah,
injured
Was
for a
it?
little
He's
bit.
probably
Yeah,
he's probably stuck there because he's making 20 million.
Yeah, something like that. You
Yeah.
probably don't mind that part of it, but I think the main thing, even if they do like a soft like rebuild in some sorts where it's just like freeing Pascal, I think that is like dope. That would be dope for them because
yeah,
even like keeping someone like Schroeder and stuff, I think he provides good value to them. So it's like they could mildly remain competitive. I don't think they should like tank or anything like that. But Scotty's the primary guy. Keep developing him. Get some pieces off Pascal. OG is still like in your core. Dennis is contributing for now. You could see if you want to keep him long term and stuff.
Yep.
I think that would be like a nice idea for the Raptors because I don't ever envision the Raptors like fully blowing up the way that like Masai is as a GM. It doesn't ever feel like he wants to fully blow it up.
which would be a mistake.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on. Atlanta. I'm buying off the sole fact that I think they're just gonna stay in the play-in.
Let me see. I
They're
think
10th
Yeah,
right now.
I'm buying.
I think I
I'm
was
buying.
buying as well.
I think I'm always for me. I'm always mid on the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I don't expect them to like go have a repeat run like they did a couple years ago. But I think they're just the East isn't as
They're not.
stacked as the West, so they're gonna just always be in the hunt. They're gonna be in that position.
The Hawks are your prototypical 500 team. They're literally
Pretty
just
much.
like right in the
bro,
middle.
they have been. I forget there was like this.
They're exactly 500
Yeah.
over the last like 6 years. It's
Dude, no,
insane.
Yeah.
I've seen a stat where it's like they're basically almost 500 since like the NBA merger type shit. like
Literally.
they're the closest team to just being 500
The
since
true definition of mid.
Yeah,
Mid.
it is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
like-
buying. I think they'll just remain there. I don't think. I think losing
Compared
Jalen
to the-
Johnson
Yeah.
has been a.
Has he been injured? Oh shit.
He has
Okay.
for like 2 weeks now. I think that was like a key because he was kind of like a revelation for them to to fit in that 4 slot, because I think he is clearly the best option for 4 outside of or in regards to him, Sadiq and what's his and
Andre Hunter.
yeah, DeAndre Hunter. So out of them 3,
Yeah.
I think
100%.
Jalen Johnson has clearly like shown himself to be the best of them, and
Yep.
like really unlocks the team essentially. So losing him for like 2 weeks now, it's not surprising that they're on like a losing streak or anything. So I think when they get him back, they'll definitely start to be playing better
For sure.
again.
All right. Miami.
Where did I have?
I'm buying.
I had bye.
I'm buying.
I can see them sneaking into the 7.
Yeah, I was gonna
seed.
say I think they get into that 6-7, which is like kind of where I had them anyways. They were
Yeah.
playing good before Bam got injured, and it seemed
Yep.
like Bam was not trying to. It seemed like Bam was, finally like taking that role of like, yo, I can be the main scorer on this team as well.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero's been injured for a while, so I wasn't really watching a lot of Heat games when he was playing for that like 5-6 game stretch.
He was really good. in the
But he
beginning.
was doing really good as well. So
Yeah.
I think Bam is the biggest key to me though, because for
Yeah.
the longest time he just hasn't been taking shots.
Yeah.
And we know how good he is on the defensive end, on
Yeah.
perimeter and as an anchor. So yeah, him being more aggressive on the offensive end, I think is going to change the Heat team overall. And I think that's where like they can get that 6-7 spot.
It kind of sucks for them. I don't care for them, but it sucks for them that they lost Drew Smith for like the season on the
Yeah.
ACL because he was playing really well.
Yeah,
And then of course Jaime Jaquez.
Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah.
has
That
been
dude is
nice.
really good, dude. Holy
He's
shit.
a
Yeah.
bucket, bro. Yeah.
He's like
Yeah, I'm buying on.
he's a typical Heat player.
Yeah, he really is. Dude. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, much as I hate the Heat, you gotta buy. I think
Yeah.
they're always gonna be. The regular season is not their cup of tea.
Yes,
Mm.
that's why I still have them like
Okay.
6.
Yep.
Because of the playoffs, though, they're
Yeah.
they're a different animal. You
I-
could say. So
No, I was gonna say,
Private.
personally, I just think that they understand that they can't play around too much, so where they like get that 8th seed again. Like they went on
Yeah.
a crazy ass run to reach the finals, but I think
Mhm.
even they know that that's not.
That's a
repeatable.
one-off, bro.
Yeah, like they're not gonna repeat
Yeah.
that again. So they should, or like not that they were like, oh, we're not gonna give a fuck about the regular season, but I think they know the value of like not being in the play-in again.
yeah, no, exactly. That could have played a role in playing that extra game. To kind of like get that spot.
Yeah.
They could have had the rest, and it could have helped them. In the finals and shit.
For sure.
But it's whatever. It's the Heat. I don't expect them to win it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yo, fuck the Heat.
Yeah.
The Knicks. I'm buying the
Where did
Knicks.
I have
Fine,
them?
fine.
I think they're right where
Fine.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm buying them. Not
I'm
much to
buying.
talk about
Not
there.
yet.
Yeah.
Very,
Not really much.
They're just
They're like
they
the
are what
Hawks.
They are.
They are what they are. They're mid.
And, yo,
They're better than the Hawks, though.
They
They're better
are
than
better than
the
Hawks.
I
It was
agree.
interesting to hear. Maybe I was like seeing Knicks fans say it, but I think Kenny was saying how they were like, whoever they played, they always had like the second best player.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, Jalen
yeah,
Brunson.
that's kind of facts. No,
Yeah.
like
Oh, it is, it
I
is.
saw Knicks fans like being upset about that, and I was like, yeah, they don't have a superstar. They have like a good combination of like players that are
Yeah.
high level. I think they'll always be tied down by the fact that they don't have a superstar yet, and that's
Yep.
that's fine until they do get one.
I've been saying this for about 2 years. They're gonna be tied down by the fact that they have Julius Randle on their team.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's facts.
Oh, yeah,
But
man.
he's been playing pretty good now
Yeah.
after having a
Last
pretty
He's
bad
on and off for
start.
sure.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
But the thing is, his off is just like,
Really bad.
Wow.
Really
It's
bad.
us.
yeah,
Also, they last for like a season.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, like
But-
it's a funny tidbit because I was at the game on Friday, and we were playing the Knicks. Every time Julius Randle held the ball, everybody in my section was yelling, "Shoot it! Shoot it!"
That's funny as hell.
It's
Shit was funny.
crazy. But yeah, I mean the Knicks they know they need a superstar now.
Yeah.
They kind of made it public,
They-
you know, that
They-
they're going to put in
they're-
all those. Like,
They've been linked to DeRozan or Levine. The whole
I
like.
hope they get Donovan, bro.
Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
What, like in free agency?
but
Not like trade.
it's just crazy.
Because there's no guarantee that he's gonna, or if the Cavs know that he's not gonna re-sign anyways.
Mm,
I'm gonna ship them off.
Yeah, they should.
that's a good point.
And they wouldn't be able to. I forget the numbers, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't be easy for the Knicks to just sign straight out of free agency because they would have to get rid of players anyways. So
Mhm.
based off that, they would do.
That would be
They
interesting.
might as well just do the trade now. And I mean,
That would be.
yeah, Donovan Mitchell has always been linked to the Knicks,
In New York.
and it could be just like straight rumors where everyone's like, "Oh,
He's also been linked to the Miami Heat, so we gotta chill.
he has been." But yeah, if Donovan Mitchell was going to the Knicks, bro, that'd be fire. Like
That would be.
he's fucking built for playing in the Garden, man. Like,
Yeah.
come on, just come on.
Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson
That'd
do
be fire.
Brooklyn. I think they're where they are.
I'm buying. Yeah,
I think I had.
Well,
I'm buying 7, 8 seed.
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
buying.
Not
I
much to
actually
talk
think they
about
could
there.
go 6.
How much? That's the
You think so?
There's a certain sell that I have.
I know who you're selling. I know who you're
Who
Now,
you know?
selling.
low key, I think the Nets or the Knicks,
Mhm.
maybe even like the
Make
Heat.
the six.
I feel like any one of those three will take that spot. You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
like 5 through 8 or 9 rather
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the East can be interchangeable.
Yeah, except. Yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
Five through eight,
I think
bro.
the top
Oh, yeah,
5
nine.
will be solidified. Like I think the Cavs are taking 5th, like easily.
You think so?
Yeah, like they're starting to figure
Mm.
it out, and like they're getting healthy. So I think. I mean, we'll get to that after, but.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah, I think I had buy for the Nets because I think they will like sneakily get that 6th out of nowhere. That's just like random projection though.
They just have a bunch of good role players, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, Mikhail has been figuring it out for the beginning of the season. While even they were still getting like wins in those time frames as well, he was like playing super passive. Like motherfucker forgot that he was the one that got traded for KD. Like, come on, man. So
You know,
Oh.
Spencer Dinwiddie run the show, bro.
Spencer Dinwiddie and Cam Thomas, like, come on, bro. You're fucking
Yeah.
Mikhail. So yeah, I
Crazy.
think low key they could sneak into 6th, just being like high level, like all around, and then Mikhail, hopefully, figuring out who the hell he is.
But no, they're just the all-around solid team,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
You buying too, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm buying. Not really much to say, I guess.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
The next one's gonna be fun. Cleveland.
I'm buying.
I'm buying too. I do
I'm
think
buying.
I think they're figuring it out, and I can see them being like slotting in that 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah, I could even
Yeah.
them being 4th or like shit. It's really close right now. Anywhere between 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Would
It's
not
as they
surprise
get
me at all.
healthy. They were missing pieces here, like literally taking turns missing games, like
Yeah.
Dono,
Mhm.
Garland,
There he is,
Mobley.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jared Allen was out
Oh,
for like 10
Jared Allen.
games.
Yeah. Jared Allen missed like the whole start of the season.
Exactly.
So
And then yeah, Mobley was like hard carrying, and now he's out for a little bit. I think he's gonna be coming back. It wasn't like a crazy injury, just like maintenance. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, they're starting to figure it out. And a lot of the acquisitions that they did in the offseason were like good. Like Max
Yes.
Strus has been
Good,
doing
yeah.
the
he's
damn
just been
thing.
playing. He has
Jordan
been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isaac Okoro is like not relied upon as much as a scoring wing now. So he feels like he's playing a lot better overall.
Yep.
And defensively, like he's always had it. And then
Right.
yeah, everyone else like they kept Karis LeVert for cheap. He's been doing his thing off the bench. Like that's a solid shot creator off the bench. So I think the format of their team is just like it makes a lot of sense still.
Yeah.
Like it just made it was just so odd that they were like not putting it together to start off the season. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
They're still reeling from that loss to the Knicks, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
The lights, man. The lights are too bright.
I can't believe you fucking said that shit, bro.
Uh,
You cannot be saying that shit, man.
That's
You can't,
crazy, bro.
you can't give anybody that ammo, man. That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
uh,
All right. Indy, you know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna
That was
I'm
my
on
sell.
that.
That was my sell.
I'm on that fucking train, baby.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton. He's literally grown to be like
No,
my
Hallie is
favorite-
amazing.
Nah,
Yeah,
he's been like my favorite non-Celtic.
he is the
Hey.
he is the engine of this team, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I think
Mhm.
yeah, they're really fun to watch and they're great.
Mhm.
I just have a
Mhm.
high suspicion that teams are just gonna lock in on him, and
Yeah.
because of that, who the hell else is after that?
Exactly.
That's true.
Which is
That's the only downside.
Which is why I've been like, yo, I've been loving everything that they're doing, and they still have like the number one offense, and that I think will still carry on because of the way they play. They're super fun to watch. I
Yeah.
think Hallie is really up there in conversations. We could do a whole nother topic because I have other stuff to say about that, but yeah, the Pacers as a team, I just feel like can be, especially because it's in season tournament too, and them making like a mark on the in season tournament. I just
Yep.
feel like teams are gonna hone in on them a little bit more,
Yeah.
and they won't be catching people like on surprise, and that could be
Right.
like
Yeah.
weird coincidence because of like this is the first year of the in season tournament. But I feel like in past years you were able to get away with it, similar to like what I was saying with like the Kings, where it's like no one was expecting them to be as like high powered as they were in terms of the offense. So
Right.
yeah, the Pacers are doing that same thing this year, but they already have that national like stage where they were showcased a little bit earlier before they ended up reaching the playoffs or something, or like the play-in or something.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm selling. I was more high on another team. Obviously, we're gonna get to them. No, Magic over the Pacers.
I'm high on
But
that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just low-key just had some beef with Halliburton since last season. So
Last season, what the hell did he do last
So what
season?
happened last season?
and Marcus Smart, remember? Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, I
man.
fuck with that. That was funny. That was funny.
Ah, man,
That was-
fuck that.
Oh.
Nah, but on some real shit though. Like, I mean, the Pacers are good. Like, don't get me wrong, but again, like you said, once they figure out, the Lakers just put them on notice last night. Once they trap and they take away Halliburton, Pacers don't got nobody else, man. Right? They just aren't reliable, I guess. If Halliburton's not just straight carrying that team, I don't see them going for it. Like, yeah, the regular season they most likely will maintain this level of play.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I was talking to like Mackie and stuff, once the playoffs roll around, and yeah, you said too, the pace slows down. Like
Oh, yeah.
Halliburton might get
Playoffs will be
exposed.
extremely different for them.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I
Yes.
still think they fall because in the regular season, people are just more aware of them now.
I think
Yeah.
okay, so like I'm gonna build up to the point where we talked about the Kings last year. It's more so like the pace, right? And it's kind of like similar to the Suns even.
Yeah, I mean, they're
of
playing
the
that 7 seconds or less.
0506, right? The 0506 Suns, where it's like the pace, they can keep up the pace in the regular season, and that'll carry them through the regular season. I do agree, though. I'm not buying them in the playoffs. I'm buying them in the regular season.
Yeah, no.
Because
Yeah.
once the playoffs come around, whoever I actually hope we play them, but
That'd be.
they're
that'd be
probably
rough.
if they play a contender, they're gonna get swept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I
You know
just,
what I mean?
just think like
So-
it's a little different for the Suns because this or like
I'm
they're
thinking of the
they're
old
like the
506
baby
Suns.
Suns. What's up?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the old Suns.
No,
like the
yeah,
Steve
I'm saying
Nash
like
Suns.
I think they're
Yeah.
like the baby Suns in that kind of way because they still had high level like players. Like yes, Steve Nash is or like Hallie is the Steve Nash of the team and is
Yeah.
like really running that engine of the team, but they don't have like an Amari. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah, they don't.
Sean
Yeah.
Marion is like very high level. Like they don't have
Yeah,
someone
100%.
of that extent either. So that's where I'm saying if they were or if they had players that were closer in terms of skill set and like value, then I could see them being able to shoot for like a high seed or a high seed for the playoffs and still
Yeah.
like fall flat in the playoffs because it's like a whole different game.
100%.
But I just don't think that even in the regular season they'll maintain a high seed because they just don't have those high level players overall. They have players who are like
Yeah.
built similar to them,
100%.
but they're like not
Yeah.
of the level of like like Amari and stuff.
listen, they're gonna get Spicy P or Laurie at the trade deadline.
That'd be fired. If that could change it completely if they were to get like Spicy P or something.
No, I get the sentiment. I'm just buying them because they're my bold prediction.
Yeah.
Top
I
4.
do love the way they play though. Like they're really, really fun to watch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, for sure.
Agreed.
Philly. I think they're right where they are.
Bye.
I bought.
I'm buying that. I'm buying that.
Bye.
Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey has really taken that next step.
Yeah, Joel is
Yeah.
playing like still like an MVP, top tier
MVP,
at least in my
yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, Maxi being like the most improved player, he has cooled down a little bit
Mm.
because obviously he was not going to maintain that like fire like
Yeah, no, he's not going to
crazy
average
start that he
28.
had. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a crazy start. And I think teams are understanding that he is the number 2, so that has like
Mhm.
slowed down a little bit, but he's still like really good, MIP worthy for sure.
All right.
I think Philly, yeah, for me, buying because shipping off Harden for those rotational pieces is freaking huge for them. I think now it's kind of like I think Embiid just feels more free and he's more accepting of
His passing is
having
nice.
Tyrese be that
Mhm.
running man instead of Harden who just a freaking problem to him, I guess. And when Embiid's already a problem, you can say. So like the fact that I think just Max is just like just a laid back dude. He just wants to hoop. So
Yeah.
the fact that he just
The coach plays a big part too, though.
Yeah,
Nick
definitely.
Nurse has, and I mean all the players have been saying it too, where it's like he's been emphasizing the idea of like moving the ball a lot, and the players are like
Yeah.
way happier compared to when they were
For
playing
sure.
Doc.
yeah. But yeah, man, Philly. I still see him a second round exit, but I'm buying them.
No, I'm in the same boat, bro. I think
No, I agree.
regular season they're probably right where they are. They could easily, honestly, they could honestly slot into the top 3 seed by the
Yeah.
end of the year too. But they're gonna lose to Boston in the second round. So
Yeah.
It's just
Tradition.
Yeah, it's tradition at this point.
Milwaukee. This one, okay. I think they're a top 3 seed,
Uh huh.
and in that sense, I buy. But in the sense of contender, that wing defense, man,
Yeah.
Horrible.
I'm selling that, bro. I don't know if I have them. I don't know if I have them at the top of the top anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
True.
I mean? You know how like Boston, Denver.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in that tier anymore. With the way, with
definitely
what we've
fell down.
seen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
I think,
what we've seen.
I think same. So like,
So, like-
they're gonna be top 3 for sure.
Yeah, I'm buying top 3. I'm selling top tier contender because, dude, that defense is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, it's sus
Mhm.
as hell. And yeah, I mean you see it for like I mean a lot of their games, basically all their games are fucking dogfights, man. Like
Yeah.
they are extremely close and they're high scoring, like 120 minimum type shit.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really surprise me.
Like,
And-
I'm pretty sure if you look up the stats, like opposing wings are averaging like 20 points per game on Mikhail Beasley. Like,
Yeah.
like, bro.
And that's why like from the get I wasn't too worried because they got rid of their best perimeter defender, and we've
Yep.
always beaten them on the perimeter.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to match up. Like anything can still happen. Like they're still
for sure. There's still time.
they're still very very talented.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But in terms of contention, I agree. I would like
Yeah.
not be thinking that they're in that top tier. But
Yeah.
in terms of the regular season and buying and selling in that kind of case, I do think they'll end up top 3. Like they just have
Great.
Giannis is just a crazy engine, and obviously
The
Dame-
talent, the top end talent is still
yeah,
just.
and Dame is finding himself in Milwaukee, so there's no way that they don't end up just cruising through a lot of teams in the regular season.
for sure.
Which sure. I still think I will still stand by it. They gotta get rid of Chris Middleton, man. That's it. Go get yourself a wing defender, and I think you'll be a little solid.
Dude, Chris
But-
Middleton been ramping up for like since last season. It's crazy.
exactly, bro.
Like I don't understand. I don't like read into it too much with like the Buck stuff overall, but I'm just like,
Mm.
yeah, it's weird how much he is still like on a minutes restriction, and it's like I don't know if that's a long term thing or they're being extremely cautious or he's kind of just like cooked.
It kind of reminds me of the Robert Williams situation here.
Mm,
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Where we're like,
Yeah.
all last year, we were like, hey, we're just keeping him healthy for the playoffs. We're keeping him healthy for the playoffs. And then he comes into this year, boom, out for the season. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, it's
Could be.
unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I hope they stand pat.
yep.
You know what I
Hope so
mean?
too.
All right, we can get to the fun team. Orlando, I'm buying.
I'm buying.
No,
I'm staying consistent with my
100%.
shit too.
Orlando,
Yeah.
I was
so
like,
good,
Orlando
bro.
got this, bro.
They do.
First of all, fuck them. Second of
Yeah,
all,
fuck
yeah,
them
I'm
for
buying.
sure. But I'm buying.
Yeah, dude. And
It's
this
like-
is like
No,
this is
go ahead.
with like significant injuries with
Yeah.
like Markel and what's his face, Wendell.
Wendell Carter.
They've
Yeah.
just been amazing, dude. And this is what I was saying, where it was like from like 1 to low key like 13, they have good players that could play on like
Yeah.
any other team, like
Mhm.
be in their depth chart at least.
Yep.
So it shows where like yeah, their starting center and presumably their starting PG are both out, but they've had
Yep.
their backups step up significantly and do well, and honestly like at times look better than when they had that full starting lineup.
Yeah.
Banchero is just like no second year slump or whatever like that for him right now. He's killing it. If anything, he's just keeping getting better.
Franz Wagner.
Yeah, Franz is finding his shot again after starting off pretty slow. Like he was still scoring a lot and doing his thing, but he just wasn't super efficient. But he's been finding his efficiency, and you know, people were talking about finding their legs after the FIBA stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of players were doing that as well. Similar to like Austin Reeves trying to find his footing again after that.
For sure.
It seemed like Franz was finding that because he balled out during the FIBA stuff. So it's nice to see him doing that again right now.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But yeah, the Magic,
yeah,
man.
you go.
Dude, I mean, for the Celtics, bro, fuck the Magic. But if they ain't playing us, yo, I'm moving for them.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Like,
No, for sure.
dude, Paulo's a straight bucket, bro. It's like, man, I'm a big fan of Jalen Suggs. It just sucks that he's always getting hurt.
It's because the way he plays, bro.
Yeah, bro, he's a menace, bro.
He's just throwing himself. He's like fucking baby smart.
That's exactly
Pretty
what I was just gonna say, bro.
Pretty much. But I mean, yo, like that team is just exciting overall, man. They just have the necessary pieces, and I think they developed their guys perfectly into like the timeline that they want. Like, Paul is the second year, man. Like he's just already proven that he's going to be the top option. Then you have Franz, whose potential is there too. Like he showcases that, you know, like I'm just as good, and he can run the team too. And then just the role pieces are amazing. And it sucks that Markel's just been out too, because he was hooping for sure, like when he was healthy. But that's the only concern that I have for them. But other than that, man, they got to keep this pace, man.
Yeah.
I don't see it fucking with
If
them
they ever
like
figure
that.
out their like point guard situation, like that would be very, very dangerous for them.
That's what I was gonna say. They probably just need like more stability at the point guard position. Other than that, they're one of the few younger teams where you can stay the course and just see what develops of this.
Yeah.
Because they're just big, physical, and talented. And
Dude, it's crazy. Their size is nothing to fucking like mess around with. And
like,
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can go.
no, they're scary because that's exactly what the Celtics struggle against.
Oh yeah,
Big
absolutely.
physical.
I've been saying
big and
that.
physical teams. So like that's not a team I want to see in the playoffs. I'm not even gonna cap. Like,
Yeah, it would
I
be,
don't want to see that kind of team.
Like I still think we win out, but that would be
It'll
like
be-
such a struggle, bro.
It'll be draining
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
team. So like
100%.
unless it's like the Eastern Conference Finals,
Yeah.
which is
Mhm.
expected. If that's like a first round or second round series, we're gonna be beat the fuck up by the time we get to the next team. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
Orlando looks legit, and their timeline is expedited, man. I didn't expect them to be this good this quick. So
Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't say like this good, this quick, or anything like that, but it
Yeah.
made sense to me. Like especially with the way that their second half of last season was, and how good they were doing. And you know, I brought up all the reasons why they did so bad, like last season.
no, what I mean is like they got Paolo with the number 1 pick,
Yeah.
and then I like the way they looked like from the get go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's very interesting to see a rebuild where they get, in my opinion, they're 1 and they're 2 so fast.
In the same draft. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, within that realm too, because I think the only one that I can think of to get it like so fast is like OKC, but even then that was like,
Yeah.
still a little longer, and they didn't technically draft Shea anyways.
Yep.
So yeah, it's nice to see, and It's pretty scary, man. They got a lot of time to like grow
They
together,
do.
and it's like yeah, you already can tell the pecking order of like Paolo is their guy, and
They're all 23 and under too, right? They're top
basically
players.
they're top
Yeah.
players for sure.
hmm
So yeah,
That's
and
what
the
I'm
size,
saying.
man, the size is just the biggest thing in me. It's just it's crazy. It,
Nah, for sure. And then moving on to the best team in the league,
Of course.
Boston Celtics. Of course, we're buying, right?
yeah,
Like,
of course.
like, okay, so I'm. This is what I'm really interested in because the next stretch of games is going to be very, very interesting for this team because we play the Cavaliers back to back. Cavaliers team that we just said are getting healthy and figuring it out,
Yep.
and then we're going to play the Orlando Magic back to back. So this is going to be a really interesting stretch because it's going to be very similar to like playoff series because
Yeah.
those back to back, like the first game, whatever, the
adjust to
second
them,
game
yeah.
you can adjust. So I really fucking hope we go 4-0, obviously, but I'm really interested in how we play both these teams because we
No,
struggled
dude.
against both of them last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes sense because, and I mean that's the only reason why the Bucks are like a conversation for me as well. Just because they always remain to have like size.
Yeah,
They also have like other problems like we were talking about on the perimeter, but the front court size will always be a problem for us. And all three of the Magic, the Cavs, and the Bucks have that. So I agree. I'm interested as well. Obviously, I'm buying their stocks. We talked about it on the Celtics podcast specifically,
Yeah.
where they're just it feels like this is the floor of the team, and there's a ceiling that they can reach. There's no guarantee that they will reach it, but in my opinion, they have been juggling injuries and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
them being healthy right now and still being the top team in the East and the second team or the second best team record wise in the NBA overall is super promising. And yeah, well, with this stretch, I think it'll be the most so far the most important. Obviously, there may be other stretches closer to the playoffs that will really show us what kind of team they are.
This would be a first true test. I feel.
Yeah, because these
Yeah.
are two like legitimate teams in the top 5 seeds right now,
Yep.
and the Magic have been having our number.
Yeah. Eddie House got to shut his mouth sometimes, man. Sorry.
Out of all things, bro, Eddie House
Yo.
fucking drove him to the point of beefing with the Celtics. Like, all right, man.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, man, I put my whole life savings on buying the stock. So
I like that.
Same.
all for sport, man.
Nah, for sure. But yeah. I think that's all the teams. So it'll be interesting to see this play out. I think it's still early. So obviously buy, sell, like we're gonna see who's right, who's wrong, whatever. But we could probably revisit this
2/3 in the season
at
type shit.
the All-Star break, maybe.
Yeah, either All Star or like a little bit after All Star.
Your deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
teams have shown us enough at this point
Yeah.
to make these projections, but it will be
Sure.
interesting to see afterwards. And
Yeah.
like with shakeups potentially with like trades.
I feel like
and all that stuff.
the trade deadline is gonna throw a wrench in a lot of our buy sells.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we got for y'all.
Yes, sir.
Until next time.
We'll be back next week.
Out.
Peace.
Peace.
Next week. Peace.